Hello and welcome once again to Info Corona with me, Rajdeep Sardesai, where we separate the news from the noise. Today we are dedicating this special show to the humanitarian crisis that is unfolding as a result of a national lockdown that's still in place. The migrant labor, invisibilized for years, but now finally getting a face. The migrant labor who till 2 months ago were the backbone of the Indian urban economy, but who today are struggling with incomes and food. Today our focus is on one of the most ignored and forgotten sections of society who have suddenly come into focus. Take a look.
They were the backbone of the big city economy. Constructing houses, helping out in shops, cleaning homes, cooking food and serving in eateries. But no longer. Rendered workless and wageless following the lockdown, they became the worst affected ones in this crisis.
यार जाना चाहते हैं हम लोग कुछ भी सुविधा नहीं मिला हम लोग भूखे मर जाएंगे यहाँ कोरोना से पहले.
And so began their journey back from where they had come.
गांव जाना है काम नहीं करेंगे हम लोग.
काम नहीं करेंगे.
नहीं बहुत दिन हो गया.
For days on end, sprawled across the highway network of India, men, women and children have been walking at all hours in search of a way home. While aeroplanes and naval ships began bringing stranded students from abroad and Indians stuck in other countries back, these migrants walked.
किस तारीख से चले हैं और 15 दिन होने लगा हमारे.
In scorching heat, on hungry stomach, with swollen and injured feet, and life's belongings bundled up.
ना हमारे पास किराया ना भाड़ा, इतने लोग हम भूखे मार रहे हैं बिल्कुल गली में.
Dejected and desperate to be united with families, they grabbed at any opportunity that came their way. A few bought second-hand bicycles with the last of their money to pedal home 1,000 kilometers away. When train services began, they queued up at stations across the country. The collateral casualties of the COVID-19 lockdown, displaced and desolate, all they seem to want out of life is to be able to go home.
That's right. All the desperate migrant workers want today is to go home. Thousands of them have been walking on the roads day and night for the last month. We've been tracking them right through this period. But what does a night in their life look like? Where do they find shelter after having spent a day in the scorching heat amidst a national lockdown? Where do they rest, if at all they do? Let's take a look at this special report from our correspondent Ashutosh Mishra, who's tracking migrants across Rajasthan. He takes us through a night on the highway.
The sun has set and night has fallen. The birds have withdrawn to their nests. But in the where Section 144 curfew orders are still in force from 7 p.m. to 7 a.m. across the country, there are those who can still be seen walking.
It's past 8 p.m. Many are walking from Jodhpur. Many are arriving even from Udaipur and Palanpur in Gujarat. These laborers have no source of survival, no surety whether there will be food or not. After they are tired, they are forced to sleep here on the roadside at this national highway, right at the national highway, where the speedy trucks are the biggest risk on their lives. ये डर नहीं लगता आप लोगों को?
हमको कोई डर नहीं. अब जब हम मरने के निकले हैं हम कोई डर नहीं है. तसला ढोकते थे सिर में 300 रुपया दिन में मिलता था, वो भी बंद हो गया, भग गया ठेकेदार से.
Chasing their dreams of a better life, they had gone to the city, only to now try and return on swollen feet and clutching PET bottles in which they carry the water to quench their thirst. For food, there is only thought, and that too dominated by their one goal, to reach home at any cost.
कितना दिन हो गया चलते हुए?
6 दिन हो गया साहब। विधायक से कहा, मंत्री से कहा, 4 दिन आप परे रहे, कोई सुनाई नहीं हुआ। 35,000 रुपया भी दिया उनको कि ले साहब हमको बस कर दो।
The journey back home is treacherous. Many who are being forced to go away are but pawns who have no control on their destiny. For hunger and survival may well drive them back onto the road once again. In search of a stable income, their life is an unstable journey plotted on a chart of uncertainty.
हालात ले आता है सर, कोई शौक से नहीं आता है, मजबूरी का आना पड़ता है।
Here on this national highway between Jaipur and Ajmer, hundreds or perhaps thousands of the migrants workers in different groups walking non-stop.
On our way to Ajmer, we met these friends who are on their way to Gorakhpur. They started their journey in the blue city of Jodhpur.
अपने पास पैसा था तब तक खाए हैं, अब गांव से किराया वराया मंगा के अपना पैदल यात्रा कर रहे हैं।
सर पहले शुरुआत तो साइकिल से हम किए, रास्ते में अब साइकिल खराब हो गई, अब दुकान भी नहीं खुला था तो साइकिल तो फेंकना ही फेंकना है।
Life savings spent on a cycle only to throw it away, and no masks to protect themselves. We decided to share our stock as we shared a few kilometers of the road with them.
And right now, I'm sitting with 20 migrant workers of Jammu and Kashmir. Largely from the Jammu region, they have been walking all the way from Ahmedabad. पता है जम्मू कितनी दूर है? आप चलकर जब जाएंगे कितना दिन लगेगा?
सर अब चल रहे हैं
1476 कुछ ऐसे किलोमीटर है वो।
आपको पता है, लेकिन ये पता आप जाएंगे कैसे वहाँ तक?
लेकिन सर जब इंसान मजबूर हो जाता है तो उसको ये नहीं दिखता कि आगे मुझे क्या परेशानी आएगी।
पुलिस वाले रोकते हैं, कहाँ जाना है भाई? जम्मू जाना है अपने को।
दुख रहे हैं हमारे घुटने, इतने मजबूर हो चुके हैं हम लोग।
It's 3 a.m. in the morning. I cannot sleep on this floor. It's too hot. Still, I have this piece of cloth as a luxury. I have my own car traveling with my camera person. But this is very difficult to live even few hours of their life, which these migrant laborers are suffering through. They really need government help and support.
The journey ahead is long, with no food to eat and no roof to rest under. It is this highway that is both a road and an abode for these Indians, hapless citizens who overnight went from employed labor to roadside vagabond.
So as you sleep in the comfort of your home tonight, don't forget that someone is simply walking on the highway or sleeping on the roadside. Now with no work or with no work and their savings exhausted, thousands are desperate to reach their homes, and they are using any means. We saw there in that story some moving on foot, others are moving on bicycle, some are taking lifts on trucks, but the truck ride doesn't come cheap. Many are shelling out thousands of rupees to simply buy spots in trucks to get to their homes. Tanushree Pandey did one such journey on the Mumbai-Nashik highway. Here's her ground report.
It's been the story of 2 lockdowns. One that possibly you live in, locked in, but at home, in your house, with your people. The other lockdown story is narrated by these sweeping shots, that of desperation of those trying to reach their home, to be with their people. And they are doing what it takes to get there. If not on trains, then on train tracks, on bicycles, on foot, just to get home. Wasn't that the diktat to begin with? Stay home, stay safe.
कितना आप लोग पैसा एक एक बंदा दे रहे हैं?
4,000 रुपए दे रहे
4,000 रुपए किसको दे रहे हैं आप लोग ये पैसा?
हैं। लेबर मांग रहे थे।
कितने आप लोगों ने पैसे दिए?
50 जाना प्लस 50 जाना।
आपका क्या अभी आपको मुझे बताया उन्होंने कि आप मेरे ख्याल से आप प्रेग्नेंट हैं।
हाँ।
तो अभी इस वक्त पे कैसे ट्रैवल करेंगे आप ट्रक में इस तरीके से?
तो खाने पीने का नहीं तो क्या करेंगे?
So here's a truck and you can see the situation here that hundreds of migrants from Jharkhand, hailing from Jharkhand, are now getting loaded in these trucks.
On the Maharashtra-Nashik highway, despite of absolute lockdown, private trucks line up to pick up cargo. In times of economic slowdown, they are making a killing. 2,000 to rupees 4,000 per spot is on sale. Just enough to sit if you tuck in your feet very tight. Social distancing, these visuals are a twisted ode to that. And all of it with no guarantee that the truck would actually reach the destination you paid for.
नहीं अभी रेड जोन है ना, लॉकडाउन है ना, तो रेड जोन्स में से क्रॉस करने का परमिशन है, स्टेट परमिट है?
फिलहाल नहीं है अभी। फिलहाल नहीं है, लेकिन मजबूर है, इनको क्या करेंगे भाई हम लोग।
बाई चांस आपके पास परमिशन नहीं है तो रोकेंगे तो आप उतारना पड़ेगा।
क्या करेंगे, जबरदस्त उतारेंगे तो उतार देंगे। अब इनको कहाँ लेके जाएंगे? आप देख लीजिए, बच्चे हैं साथ में, इन लोग को कहाँ छोड़ेंगे बताइए, बच्चे भी।
प्राइवेट गाड़ी ऐसे तो चलने का परमिशन नहीं है अभी लॉकडाउन में ना?
नहीं वो तो है, लेकिन हम लोग अलग से ऐसा कुछ नहीं लिए हैं, मतलब पुलिस के सहायता से ही जा रहे हैं।
पुलिस आपको नहीं रोकती है?
नहीं, हम लोग को मतलब सहायता कर रहे हैं, बहुत सहायता कर रहे हैं।
बहुत अच्छी बात है सर। एक एक जने से कितना पर हेड कितना पे कर रहे हैं?
कोई 1500, किसी के बाद पैसा नहीं दिया उनको भी लेके जा रहे हैं।
At the checkposts of Bhiwandi and Nashik, we did check that there were no checks. Trucks packed with migrants were being allowed to pass, violating every norm in the lockdown rule book.
मैं आपसे ये पूछ रही हूँ कि ये जो टेम्पो ट्रकों में निकल रहे हैं सर ये माइग्रेंट वर्कर, तो ये क्या अलाउड है? ये लोग क्रॉस कर सकते हैं?
नहीं ना, नाकाबंदी है वही चालू है।
अच्छा बट सर ये तो निकल रहे हैं, हमने तो देखा इतने ट्रक्स लेकर जा रहे हैं, 100, 60, 70 बैठा रखे हैं एक एक में। आप मना किस चीज को कर रहे हैं मैं समझ नहीं पा रही, क्योंकि है तो इतने तो ट्रक्स निकल रहे हैं सर। हाँ
कोई मना कर रही है
सर, ये जो ट्रक्स निकल रहे हैं इतने माइग्रेंट वर्कर इसमें भरे हुए हैं, तो इन ट्रक्स के पास परमिशन है यहाँ से क्रॉस करने की? नहीं, मैं बस यही पूछ रही हूँ कि उन ट्रक्स को क्यों नहीं चेक किया?
These trucks are testimony to the fact on the abysmal number of trains being run to ferry migrants back home. In Maharashtra, where these trucks with human cargo ply, there are 10 lakh migrants, and only 55,000 of those have been ferried back home by just 42 trains. The rest continue to leave one way or the other. Here, as the trucks clear one checkpost at a time, the human cargo breathing a sigh of relief. One checkpost closer to home.
All these people, they are right now paying rupees 3,000 in desperation because they have to reach their families. And all this is happening in broad daylight under the authorities' noses. And these trucks have no permission to cross the states or the districts or the zone. But there is absolutely no checking or stoppage of these trucks by the police personnel on the ground on any of the borders. Now the main and the most important question is, are the authorities in connivance or are they indifferent? With video journalist Prashant in Nashik, I'm Tanushree Pandey.
Now, migrant labor from all urban pockets started to go back home as soon as the lockdown was announced on the 24th of March. They often left with very little belongings on their back. They literally took to the streets, walked for kilometers, often with their children and family, with no real certainty of when and how far they could actually walk. But they kept on moving. Let's take a look at how this humanitarian crisis unfolded from the early days of the lockdown in March.
While the country started its fight against the war on coronavirus, there were these people who had their own battles to wage. The one for their livelihood and survival.
सर मैंने अभी तो खाना नहीं खाया है, पैसे भी नहीं थे चाय पीने के लिए, इसलिए घर के सारे भी भूखे और हमारे पूरे मजदूर लोग भी भूखे.
In those initial days of lockdown, a daily wager in Bhopal, Munna was struggling to get food. And he was not alone. For laborers like Munna, lockdown meant loss of basic dal roti. Migrant workers started to leave the cities in droves. With Delhi's borders sealed and public transport completely shut, this family decided to walk home 400 kilometers away in Jhansi.
हाँ कहीं लग गया तो कर शाम के अपने खाया और फिर सुबह अब यहाँ कोई मजबूरी नहीं चल रहा.
A few fortunate ones had cycle rickshaws, like this family who were headed to Muzaffarpur.
ऐसा महतो जी ऐसा क्या हो गया कि आप एकदम सब परिवार लेके
यहाँ कोई काम धंधा है नहीं, 4-5 दिन से बैठे.
क्या करते हैं यहाँ पे?
रिक्शे ठेले चलाते हैं.
अच्छा, इसलिए पूरा परिवार को लेके चल दिए हैं.
क्या करें?
और रास्ता में रोक दिया कोई तो
देखा जाएगा, जैसा वैसा करेंगे.
The lockdown triggered an exodus, and no state was left unscathed.
महामारी की जगह भूखमरी से मर जाएंगे, ठीक है ना. तो जब हम जहाँ सर्विस करते हैं वहाँ सेठ लोगों ने तो शनिवार से मार्केट को बंद कर दिया. हमने सोचा कि अगर लॉकडाउन हो जाएगा तो हम यहीं मर जाएंगे.
A rickshaw puller Rajkumar had no money to return home to Raebareli.
घर में बीवी बच्चे हैं और हमें अब इसका खर्चा हम कहाँ से निकाल लेंगे. बहुत उदास इस समय पर बैठे हैं रोड के पास, पूरा सन्नाटा पड़ा हुआ है और कहीं हमारे जेब में 10 रुपए तक नहीं है कि हम अभी जाके घर में अपने परिवार को खिला दें कुछ.
On 24th of March, thousands of migrant workers and daily wagers walked for hours to reach Anand Vihar in New Delhi to catch buses that would take them home. Immediately after the lockdown was announced, Phul Singh was forced out of his rented accommodation by his landlord. Having come from Badaयूं in Uttar Pradesh, he was working on daily wages in Gurugram. Phul Singh's children remain confused.
किराया भाड़ा मकान मालिक ने मांगा है तो उसमें कोई पैसा तीर नहीं था, उसने भगा दिया है.
पता है कितनी किलोमीटर है?
बताइए 400 किलोमीटर वहाँ से पड़ जाता है.
कब तक पहुँच पाएंगे?
4-5 दिन में पहुँच पाएंगे. ये अपनी 3 पहिया की रेडी से.
अच्छा.
हाँ, ये रिक्शे से 3 पहिया की 4 दिन में 5 दिन में पहुँच पाएंगे.
Delhi government swung into action, providing the migrants with buses and food.
आज से 4 लाख लोगों को खाना खिलाने के लिए हमारी कैपेसिटी तैयार हो गई है. आज 568 स्कूलों में खाना खिलाने का इंतजाम शुरू हो गया है. 238 नाइट शेल्टर्स रैन बसेरों में खाना खिलाया जा रहा है. तो लगभग 800 ऐसे सेंटर हैं जहां से खाना खिलाया जा रहा है.
In Uttar Pradesh, thousands were stranded in Lucknow.
बहुत परेशानी झेलनी पड़ी. कमरे में भी दिक्कत थी, रोटी पानी की दिक्कत हो गई थी, इसलिए हम लोग गाँव जा रहे हैं.
12 बजे रात से आए थे, अभी तक कोई सुविधा नहीं मिली. अब जाके सुविधा मिली, अब जा रहे हैं आजमगढ़.
मुख्यमंत्री जी ने आदेश किया जो जहाँ है वहीं पर उसकी व्यवस्था होगी. ऐसा कुछ हुआ?
वहाँ बहुत परेशानी हो रही.
Sensing the gravity of the situation, the Home Ministry asked states and union territories to set up relief camps.
आज होम सेक्रेटरी ने फिर से स्टेट्स और यूटीज को इस समस्या के बारे में लिखते हुए एम्फसाइज किया है कि वे रिलीफ कैंप्स सेटअप करें तथा इन रिलीफ कैंप्स और जो फूड और शेल्टर की सुविधाएं वो कर रहे हैं उसके बारे में प्रिसाइज जानकारी माइग्रेंट वर्कर्स तक पहुंचे.
Many state governments began distributing free food for migrant workers. Some governments announced additional relief packages. But all of these efforts were not enough to allay fears or hardships faced by the migrant workers. In Surat, migrant workers forcibly kept cooped up in their localities clashed with the police. Many of them claiming that lack of food and harsh conditions forced them to come out only to be beaten up by the cops. In Mumbai, hours after the announcement of the lockdown being extended till the 3rd of May, thousands of jobless migrants gathered outside the Bandra railway station. They had been under the impression that they would be allowed to leave for their homes in other states.
कोई नहीं चाहता कि आप आपके मर्जी के खिलाफ कहीं ऐसे लॉकअप में पड़े हो। लॉकडाउन मतलब लॉकअप नहीं है, ये अपना ही देश है और आप जैसे आप घर जाना चाहते हो, आप मेरे राज्य में हो, महाराष्ट्र में हो, आप सुरक्षित हो, आपको कोई चिंता करने की आवश्यकता नहीं है।
The anxiety and tension of migrant workers stranded in different cities and industrial belts continue to simmer. They protested, some took extreme steps to reach home by sea, by foot, by any means.
That's it then on this special show. We've tried to bring a face to India's invisible citizens. Hopefully, this show will remind you that these too are real Indians, real people. All they want is to return to their homes. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.
Hi everyone, Preeti Chaudhary here. Hope you like this video. For latest news and analysis, like and subscribe to the India Today YouTube channel. And don't forget to press the bell icon to stay updated. Thank you for watching.